What's up, everybody? Steve Walls here alongside Darren Smith. Chiefs have defeated the Baltimore Ravens 37-20. A mollywhopping.
Hold on, convincingly.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the thing. Then I posted this earlier, Darren. I was like, folks gonna say that this Chief it was more of a Ravens having guys out and the Ravens, having a bad game. Whereas the Chiefs actually, played a great game and had everything clicking on all centers. What do you think?
I think after the opening drive
Hmm.
for Baltimore, when they went down and scored a touchdown, Kansas City came back with a field goal, and then of course the Chiefs were able to get the ball once again. I think that might have been the interception when they got the ball back. Um, I think they made it a point after they scored another field goal
Hmm.
that we got to put some stuff together back to back to back offensively so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. And when they were able to stop Baltimore from scoring,
Hmm.
on their next drive, and then the Chiefs came back and turned around and took the lead. I think we got a chance to see what this offense could potentially look like. And of course, we talked about it pregame that I know you and I had very opinions about how they would probably use Xavier, but the
Hmm.
fact that they were able to do it and do it convincingly and had him in the run game, had him in the pass game, and I think they made it a point from what we would have saw in Brazil that he's going to be an important factor, and just him being on the field, being able to stretch the field out like that, made it actually made the run game look a little bit more efficient this time around.
Steve Walls, Darren Smith here. We're broadcasting right here live on the field post game. The Chiefs have defeated the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Darren, it started out kind of slow for this Chiefs
It
offense.
did.
Talk about the I guess the momentum shift with the Leo Chenal interception,
Well,
one-handed interception is what Trey said.
talking to Trent,
Trent, yeah.
yeah, they were talking to Trent in the locker room. He was jealous because we kind of joked about it. He didn't even know he had that type of cover skills
Hmm.
or those type of moves, especially the one-handed interception. So he said that for the defense, it sparked everything because that was kind of unexpected
Right.
for him to make that type of play like that. And then of course the offense fed off of it, being able to come back and
Hmm.
actually capitalize on it. And so from there, I think that was the momentum. But you and I talked about it, man. It was we talked about it. Now we didn't talk about it pre-game. We talked about it in the press in the press box that it was important mentally or psychology for the Chiefs to get that get 30 points. I think halftime they were already up 20. So we talked about how they need to come out and score in the second half, and they did. I think it was 27-10. But
Hmm.
we said they've got to get to that 30 number. It was a lot of time left, so they
Right.
had every
Right.
opportunity to. And of course, Harrison Butker missed another field goal, which this time around, since they were already leading, didn't come back to affect them. But I thought that we talk about momentum. I thought them getting 30 plus points was a real good thing psychology for the team because now they know that they can put points on the board
Right.
once again.
Right. Now talk about the offense a little bit. How much of a spark was Xavier worthy today?
Oh, he was. I mean, first of all, his first catch. It's funny because when he first caught the ball, the fans didn't realize that it was Xavier Worth who caught the
Hmm.
ball.
Hmm.
Then when they announced it, I mean, you could hear like the thunder roar at Arrowhead, and the fact that he was able to continue to make plays. And I can't remember if he scored a touchdown or not, but the sheer fact that again he had big plays all the way around and was contributing, extending the plays, extending the chains. Again, for him to be able to do that, we talked about it, man. You know, they you could tell that they were struggling offensively to do things. But outside of the fact that you don't have Rasheed Rice for essentially another 3 weeks because he's out the next 2 weeks and then you get him back for the Raiders game.
Hmm.
Everybody else on offense is healthy. Now we didn't see Jalen Royals either in the game, but I'm pretty sure Andy's
He
gonna.
was in a little bit. I saw
Okay,
him.
okay,
Yep.
so he's got a few things. He got a few plays in, but I think now unless there's some other sort of injury that takes place,
Hmm.
they don't have any excuses, Steve. Offensively, and we kind of joked about Harrison missing the field goal again. I was telling Carrington on social media that if this Chiefs offense is what it's supposed to be, he should not be in that situation kicking a 50-yard plus field goal unless it's at the end of the half or something like that.
Right.
But the way the offense finally got a chance to, and I think again, I think it was more so that it was something psychology that they needed because now Jacksonville has been playing well. I think they're 3-1
Mm-hmm.
going into the next Monday night's game. But you also have when you come back home, you're going to be playing the Detroit Lions, and we know what they can do.
Of course,
And so,
especially offensively.
yeah, and so the Chiefs have to show that they can put points on the board in case the defense, has a lapse or doesn't have a good game as they did today.
Not only did Xavier Worthy catch passes, but you had 8 other guys, so 9 total from Patrick Mahomes. What'd
Yeah,
you see from Pat today?
he was able to spread the ball around,
Yeah.
and he was able to kind of put a stamp on what they talked about throughout camp throughout the summer on how explosive this offense should look and should be.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the run game left a little to be desired but they of course focused on the later part of the ballgame because they were already up by two or
Of
three
course.
scores before the late touchdown. But even then, I mean, they were running the ball at will and trying to milk the clock, and of course get out of here without any injury. So I think Patrick played well. What and actually, I thought he was going to try to get to 300 passing yards because again, I think just psychology wise, that's a good number for because I can remember when the last time he's passed for 300 plus yards.
I don't remember as well.
But the 4 touchdowns was a good sign. Which again, we know Nick Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Wright come tomorrow. He's gonna have about 6 banners or whatever dropping from the studio talking about this game. So, and of course the biggest thing is with this win, they're now 1 game behind the Chargers who lost to New York. So they're a game above Denver and
Raiders.
the Raiders who lost today at the end of the game with the Chicago Bears. So the fact that now that the Chiefs are, again, I know it's week 4, but you and I, we always look ahead, look at the conference and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I mean, they're 1 game out, and all they got to do is just continue to just keep building wins, stacking wins one week at a time.
Yeah, man. So for myself and Darren Smith, you guys can catch us tomorrow. We'll be live right here on social media for the Red Hour. Myself, Darren Smith, along with DJQ, and also Sean Tyler. We'll be broadcasting live, talking about this game and what to look forward to next week. We also go around the league and we look at some of the other scores that have happened today. We'll look at the Monday night game, which is happening tomorrow, of course. But Darren, going into next Monday night,
Yeah.
does this Chiefs team? I guess how do they, bounce back from this win? Because a lot of times we've seen the ups and downs of this Chiefs team, right? So how do they, come out next week again on Monday night?
Got to build on the consistency. I mean, defensively, they essentially played well all season.
Hmm.
I think it was more so offensively, and of course, the special teams that kind of let them down the first couple of games. But talking with Drew, talking with Trent, they have a lot that they can continue to go on. I mean, defensively. Think about it. We talked about it. Zay Flowers didn't have a big game at all. I think
Hmm.
3 catches. I think the most catches someone had might have been Mark Andrews with 4. I think maybe 4 or 5 catches. But
Zay Flowers had 7
okay,
receptions,
okay. So towards the
8
end, okay,
targets,
okay,
74 yards.
okay. Towards the end, okay.
Yep.
Towards the end. So I mean, I stopped paying attention after they went up 3 scores.
Yeah,
But
and it was crazy because the we talked about the momentum shift, but the blitz that the defense that Spags called was pretty good.
yeah, and talking to Drew about, it, I mean, the game plan wasn't to just really shut down Derrick Henry, and we talked about that. But literally, Lamar Jackson. I mean, they announced in the game that he might have suffered a hamstring injury,
Mhm.
but the Chiefs put the beat down
Very
on him so
convenient.
the Chiefs put the beat down on him so bad that it essentially looked like he waved the white flag
Hmm.
in the game because he didn't receive any treatment. It was like he took himself. I think he took himself out the game, and they might have just said hamstring to kind of save face.
And
But
what's funny about that is, we always look to the sidelines to see body language. And I looked at Lamar, I looked at Derrick Henry, and a few other guys second quarter, and they were just kind of out of it. It was like they didn't know what hit them.
and then we talked about it pregame, and I think we talked about the coaching
Hmm.
aspect of it. If they would go away from, and it looked like they went away. I mean, they tried to run early on, and I think Derrick Henry rushed for like 30, 40 some yards in the first half, and really only maybe a couple of carries in the second half. So I mean, it was like the Chiefs backs just did something, just took them way out of their game. Because again, Lamar essentially quit in the third quarter,
Yeah, yeah,
and so I mean, the question, I mean, we don't cover them, but the question would be how will they bounce back
right.
from the type of performance that they had today? To me, I think the Chiefs are able to build on it. Now, Jacksonville has been a lot better this start of the season, and of course, I'm interested. I didn't get a chance to talk to him because the locker room had closed, but I wanted to ask Trent about his potential matchup against Travis Hunter next week. But I don't think he's going to be. Well, I think he's going to be more on Brian Thomas
Hmm.
than he will here. So I'm interested to see how they play down there. It's a Monday night game. Jacksonville is coming in with a. I think they lead their division. If not them, then
They do lead the
tied.
division.
Yeah, with Indianapolis. So I think that they're going to be they're going to be pumped up. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's probably going to be hot and muggy
Hmm.
even at nighttime down there for us. So I'm interested to see how they play and offensively how the Chiefs, if they can continue to build off of what we saw in today's game.
All right, that's for Steve Walls, Darren Smith. Darren, rate before we get out of here. Rate the Chiefs as a whole. Give them a grade. Let a grade.
I will give today's game an A minus,
Mm.
and it would be an A if Harrison Bucker would have made that field goal because essentially they had great returns and he was making his kicks, but the missed field goal, that's I mean he's essentially missed one kick each week. So I
Yep.
still got to dock him for that. But overall, offensively, defensively, even coaching, I thought they did a great job today.
Yeah.
And I can poo poo them when they do bad, but we can give them credit when they do, and they did well today.
Yeah. I give them an A. I give them an A as well. They all three
Well, I gave
phases.
them A minus
Okay.
because of the
I
missed
give them a
field goal.
solid A. It's in the middle. A plus, A minus, right in the middle. I think they played a hell of a game today. I
Yeah.
think even with coming off of last week and then coming into this week and it's just been like I said, it's been up and down. But I give them an A.
One other thing I do want to point out, and I know we may mention it tomorrow night, but I want to make sure that Chiefs fans make sure that you can poo-poo Jawan Taylor when it's called for, but let's also give him credit. He played a clean game today. No
Hmm.
false starts, no holding, none of that
Hmm.
stuff. And so I want to make sure that we give Jawan Taylor credit. Which, granted, he's paid well
Yep.
to do so, but he played a clean game today, and none of the stalled drives were of his doing.
For Steve Walls, Darren Smith, we're here live right here inside of Arrowhead GHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Catch us tomorrow. Myself, Darren Smith, alongside of DJ Q and also Sean Tyler tomorrow night, 6:30 to 7:30 for the Red Hour. Until tomorrow, we are out of here.